Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of the 2315 Sports Show. We are on episode 22, Double Deuces. We pretty much an NBA jam-packed one this episode. We're going to mix a little PGA Championship from last weekend in there as well. And then our new segment of picks, parlays, and prayers. I actually downloaded the app finally and won my first bet last night on your Celtics. So I was pretty pleased with myself.
Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It always feels good to get a win under your belt.
Yeah. Call the addiction hotline because I'm itching. So,
Do it.
all jokes aside, that's a serious matter. But so let's see, what do we got? We have we're not live again. Kind of like we said last week, it's our new summer kind of rotation. We are shooting on Wednesdays, but our final product will be released on Fridays. So same thing on Fridays, just not live. Maybe during fall and winter when the weather's bad here, we'll go back to live. So, but we'll see. Jumping right into it, we have last weekend we had the PGA Championship, one of the majors, like we said. My winner did not win. I don't know as he came anywhere close. One of yours came pretty close. Actually, a couple of them, I think, in your betting came pretty close. But our winner was Xander Schauffele. First major of his career. I was telling you this, he was the best golfer that hasn't won a major yet. So now they can no longer say that. So it was a good tournament. DeChambeau put the pressure on him on Sunday and made him finish. And Xander didn't flop, didn't do anything. So it was impressive win.
Yeah. It's I didn't tune into a whole lot of it, but from what I did see, it was seemed like he had a pretty good first round. What he was like 7 or 8 under or something crazy like that on the first round or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But my pick, he started out a little slow Thursday morning there. Had to take a detour from Valhalla to the jailhouse, but
that was nuts.
But yeah, but it's good to see somebody different win. This guy's being young too. It's pretty cool to see him come in and get his first win. So maybe his takeoff of his career and see how that goes from there.
Could be. Yeah, the winner we thought would probably win is Scottie Scheffler. That, like you said, took a little detour Thursday morning. Was it Thursday or Friday morning? Thursday. Was it Thursday? I don't know.
Thursday morning, yeah.
Thursday morning. And when that story broke, I'm like, wow, Ethan picked this dude to win. Like, this will be a hell of a story if he wins. I mean, he got arrested at 6, shows up at the country club at like 9, tees off at 9:25 or something crazy like that, and birdies the first hole like nothing ever happened.
Birdies the first hole.
Yeah, that is insane. Yeah. And then I think Friday or Saturday, he kind of I think it finally set in. Like it kind of got to him and he kind of fell off a little bit. But he shot 5 under. And that's crazy for being arrested and doing your stretching in the jail cell.
Yeah.
I mean, what a story. What a story to have to call your wife at home who just had a kid and say, hey, I messed up, I'm in jail.
I got arrested for running over a police officer.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I think it's all like being investigated. There's a lot of shady stuff. I think that, I don't know. I said from the start, with Kentucky being full sports betting allowed, I said it had to do something with that. Like some dude took
Probably.
Rory or, DeChambeau to win, and they were like, well, this is our chance to take him out, thinking he wouldn't make it back. So, yeah, very
It's
eventful.
Louisville. Never know what's going on up there.
No kidding. They've had their fair share. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Overall, a good event. The one day was a little rainy, the day you got arrested, actually. But other than that, weather was good. Course looked awesome. And then Sunday again, we had our first major for a golfer who well deserved it. He's coming second a lot. Like if you look up his stats, it's it's like an ongoing joke that he always comes in second. So good for him.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, this could, who knows? Maybe he wins the next 6 tournaments in a row. I mean, you never know. So something that we're more deeply involved in. We don't watch a lot of golf. I do now because it's actually pretty relaxing on Sunday afternoons. But
Yep.
the NBA playoffs round 2 wrapped up. We're on to the conference finals. Things how we are Wednesday. We're 1 game in. Boston won theirs in overtime last night. But good round 2. Had a couple game 7s in there that I didn't think were going to end the way they did. I take that back. The Pacers one, I did believe. I believe the Pacers were going to win that game 7 just because of all the injuries, and New York just looked tired. And then they end up losing Jalen Brunson in the game to a broken hand. So that was a tough series. And like I said last week, that is Thibodeau's downfall, that they are just dog tired by this time. That happened to the Bulls. So fully expected that one to go Pacers' way, just because they have younger legs and had an easier quote unquote season coaching wise. But they're playing your Celtics now. And then we had the Timberwolves and Nuggets, which I really thought the Nuggets at home were going to seal that one. And they were up by 20, I think, at one time.
Yeah.
Ant wasn't showing up very well in the first half. So that one kind of shocked me. I don't know about you, but that one shocked me quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, and it did me too. And the crazy thing is, they're up 2-0 in the series, and I say, "Oh, we're gonna go, T-Wolf sweep," and then he goes 2-2, 3-2, and I'm like, "Well, Nuggets gonna win 4 straight," and then lo and behold, here the T-Wolves come. Like, so in that series, no matter who I was saying was going to win, definitely wasn't going to win.
Yes, it was the opposite.
But that was one wild game. I watched a lot of it, and I fell asleep in part of it, and then woke back up and watched the last 4 or 5 minutes. But that was a great series, and the T-Wolves are an extremely good defensive team, and it's just it's pretty cool to see. So that's what it's this next series for them they'll be battle tested for sure. So it'll be a good matchup with the Mavericks.
Yeah, and speaking of that, the Dallas beat OKC in 6 games, which I was kind of surprised they won that 6 game. But I feel they needed to, because even Luka, like when they interviewed Luka after the game, like, yeah, let's go. We're off to the finals, but the main thing he said, but tomorrow I'm resting. Like, I think they were tired, especially him and Kyrie probably. So another hard series. OKC, for how young they are, showed up really well, I think. I am kind of on your bandwagon of a year away. I don't know as next year is the year either. It might be like the following year, but if they could add another piece too,
Yeah.
that could just go get a bucket whenever they need it. That is what they're missing as
Yeah.
well. So good series though.
Yeah. And that's what I saw that they're gonna shop Josh Giddey here in the
Yeah.
offseason. He's due for an extension anyway. So move him and some picks and get, somebody with that, like you said, could just go get a bucket when they need to. And I don't think it'll happen, but the perfect piece for that team is Kevin Durant. So it would be really cool to see him come back.
Come back.
I don't think it'll happen. I don't think the Suns will, part ways with him. But I mean, they don't have any picks till like 2031 or something like that.
Yeah.
So if I was Phoenix, I would entertain that if you get some young pieces and some picks back. But
Yeah.
I do. I think they're a year away. But and that's with the Mavericks, like you said though. Luka was tired. That whole team's tired.
Mm-hmm.
So they needed to close that series out so they could get a little bit of rest because they're about to struggle a little bit more, I think. So
Yeah.
that Western Conference, the whole Western Conference is good defensively, and it's good to see. Like I know we talked about it last week a lot. It's good to see the defensive side more than just offensive basketball all the time. So
I agree. If I were OKC, I don't know how he would fit, but I think he'd fit pretty good. And I hate to say it, I'm not a huge Giddey fan, but the picks would be fine, and Giddey would be fine if that's the case. He'd fit. I'd give the Bulls a call about Levine.
yeah,
He can go get a bucket anytime he wants. Whether he's healthy or not, it's a whole different story. But he's a shooter. He's a driver. He's an extreme athlete. He's a vet, so he's been around. He doesn't play much defense, but I don't know how that would roll. But he seems like a pretty decent fit too. You might not have to give up so much for him either, as like a Durant or like a Bradley Beal or one of those guys that, I don't know. And I don't know if the Bulls would do it either now that actually I think I saw a video that Lonzo Ball's dunking. So it looks like he's on schedule to be back next year. So they might keep him around, at least till the trade deadline anyway. So
see how it goes.
I agree. Okay, see, they're going to be a team here pretty shortly to fear. I mean, they were this year. So.
Oh yeah. So maybe in the coming weeks we can do a little like trade package scenario for the Thunder, who we think would be good fits to help them get them over the hump.
Yeah, that'd be good. Jot it down.
There we go.
So that was pretty much the NBA round 2. Hard fought games, game 7s. And then kind of the other big story, I guess, is Boston kind of cruised, which I figured they would against the Cavaliers, which I think they needed to. I think they needed the extra time maybe to get a little refocused again because they were kind of just going through the motions, it seemed like. So hopefully you get Porzingis back, in this series. If not, maybe the finals, who knows. But that'll kind of carry us into our kind of final subject, which is the NBA Conference Finals going on right now. The Eastern Conference is Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers, and the Western is the Minnesota Timberwolves against Dallas Mavericks. We're going to save the Eastern Conference for last just because one of us has a team interest in that. We'll go with the Timberwolves and the Mavericks, which I think Wednesday should tip off tonight, game 1. I don't know. I feel the Timberwolves are a little more battle tested. They've been through the reigning champs. Took down the best player in the league, in my opinion. I mean, for what it's worth. And I think they have a little more. I don't know. Like, should we say dog in them? I think. I don't know. I like them. I like the Timberwolves. I hope they make the finals. And I like them against Dallas. It's a hard matchup both ways. But I don't know on Dallas who covers Anthony Edwards. That's tough. That's tough. I don't know about you. I don't know if you're on the Dallas train still or.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest with you, I'm not real sure where I'm leaning right now. Because matchup wise, you've got, just looking at position by position, Kyrie and Mike Conley.
Yep.
Conley's a great defender.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie is a spectacular offensive talent.
Mm-hmm.
Luka versus Ant. The starting three for the Mavericks. Well, shoot. I should have wrote down. Blanked on his name. Jaden McDaniels for the T-Wolves. And then you got Gobert and Cat in the front court and Derek Lively and PJ Washington.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really good matchups, but it's gonna come down to Jaden McDaniels that's probably gonna guard Luka most of the time. And Ant's probably gonna guard Kyrie a lot. It's just gonna be how Ant plays, I think. If he pops off every night, they're gonna win. But on the other hand, too, Kyrie's bag is so deep. He's so good. He's special. Is that team going to be good enough to slow him down? He's won a championship before. Luka's been to a Western Conference Finals before. Mm-hmm. Nobody on the T-Wolves has. So the experience may matter. It may come into play. It may not. Deep down, I think the Mavericks will probably win. But I don't know. Ask me tomorrow after game one, I'll give you an answer.
Okay.
So
all right.
After game one, I can give you a good answer.
The matchups are, when you're sitting there walking through them, like, they're kind of weird too. Like, anybody Luka is on is a liability because Luka don't play defense. He's not very good at defense. So I don't know as you can afford to put Luka on Ant, because Ant will drop 50 on him like that. I mean, you'll look up and it'll be a 20-point lead. So I don't know. That's an interesting matchup. I think Ant will, whoever's like going off for the Mavericks, he'll go on, whether it's Luka or Kyrie. I would honestly say he'll probably start on Luka, and they'll give Conley to lock down Kyrie a little bit. There's quite a bit of age difference, I think, there, but I don't know. That's different, and I don't know who guards Karl Anthony Towns. PJ Washington can't.
I think it'll just more than likely have to be PJ Washington. But they've got Daniel Gafford too that comes off the bench, or maybe he starts and Lively comes off the bench. But PJ's only like 6'8", 6'9", but he's strong and he's tough, and he just doesn't back down from anybody. So, I mean, that'd be a decent matchup. But the starter, I had looked it up, was Derek Jones. And he's a really good wing defender. He doesn't play a lot of offense. Yep. But he's a good defender, so he'll probably play a lot on Ant as well. And then I'd say Kyrie just guard Conley, and Luka will guard Jaden McDaniels. So it's going to be. I think this one will go 6 or 7. I
agree.
I would probably put money on it that it'll go 7.
Yep, I agree. And I'm going Timberwolves. You're going Dallas. So I'm just going against you because it seems like everyone you say the opposite wins.
Yep.
So that's where it's at.
Yeah, for real. Except the Mavericks.
Except
I've been pretty straightforward on the Mavericks. Everybody else, none.
Yeah. It would be cool to see the Mavericks in there too, with Jason Kidd as the coach. That's pretty cool. I like that. And no one thought it would work, which I am in that no one. I didn't think it was going to work with Kyrie and Luka, and it seems to be doing just fine. So clearly, then we have your side, our side, that we're probably more invested in. We have Boston and we have Indiana. Like I said, we had a thriller last night. First game went into OT with Jaylen Brown hitting a ridiculous shot to send it into OT, and then they took over. So I am a little worried about the Celtics, though. The way they were playing, they were like, I was like, oh, they're going to win by 20, and then they miss a couple shots, and they're really 3 happy. Like they're live or die by the 3, which is the league pretty much now. But I don't know as I like it. If they're not going down, start driving, because no one could guard Tatum or Brown driving last night. I mean, it wasn't even close. So, and Horford was a beast last night. So, I don't know. Although Turner kind of heated up a little bit too last night in the first half there. So, this will be an interesting series. I'm going with the Celtics. I'm going to say probably 5 games. I'm going to give Indiana 1 somewhere.
Okay.
But what are you liking? You like Boston, obviously.
I'm worried about it too. Like Boston, I'm worried about it. Like you said, they get out 12-0 lead last night, and I'm like, we're overpowering them. Like it's not going to be close. And then their pace, the Pacers' pace of play is ridiculous. They're number 1 in the league in points per game. They run up and down the floor all the time, and they press a lot, which is really weird to see in the NBA. But they've got a lot of dogs on that team too. But really, Porzingis is on track for Game 4. I pray he comes back, because that's where we struggle, is the size.
Yep.
Because Horford goes out and Luke Cornett has to play, and Luke Cornett's not him. He's good.
He did all right last night.
He can come in and give us some quality games. Yeah, had a couple of big dunks, but as far as guarding Miles Turner or Pascal Siakam, it's not there. But Tatum guarded Siakam a lot of the night, and he played really well. But honestly, figuring out the pace of play, slowing them down a little bit, making it a grind out game, I think they can do that. And when we do that, it slows the Pacers down a lot. So the size is my biggest concern. And I think all the days off, 6 days off, a little bit of complacency, a little bit of rust,
Sure.
Having easy 2 rounds basically, and then coming in, which this still isn't, it's not a super hard, like it's not a team that you were super worried about, but it's not a team that you can take lightly either, because they'll kill you.
They'll beat you. I mean, they're good. I like them.
Halliburton's ridiculous. And he hit a basically a half court shot to end the second quarter, and then hit some ridiculous up and under fade away bank 3 to end the third. And just like how lucky can you get?
Well, I think it's a little skill for
I don't
him.
know. I like him. I want to say, yeah, the long three, the in the half was definitely skill. Like that wasn't just a prayer you put up. Like
No.
he squared up and
Yep.
took a shot. So, but I like Boston, and I want to say for only because I'm going to Game 4.
Yeah.
I'll be in Indiana. I want to see
awesome.
a closeout game, trophy celebration,
That'd be
but
cool.
realistically 5 or 6. So
Yeah, that's what I'm
we'll
thinking.
go
5. I'll give them 1
back, and they won't be able to handle it.
They'll probably win the one you're at. Honestly,
we both take. I pray they do. If they lose, that 3-hour ride home is going to be miserable.
Yep, for your wife.
So yeah. Oh, she was at our daughter's softball game last night. She had a game at 8:00.
Oh.
She comes home at 9, and I'm watching the game, and she's like, I hate watching games with you. You've made me this way. And she's all tore up and freaking out. And then when Brown forces the turnover, 8.5 seconds left, like I'm going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like just buried her face in her phone, so she couldn't watch. And then he hits that 3, and like I'm screaming. All the kids are in bed, and I'm screaming anyway, just going nuts.
That's what.
And
that's
she's
what
like,
it's
I can't with you. I can't with you. It's like, just wait till we're at the ball game, and I can be louder than I am now. Like,
wait till you're live.
So it's gonna be. I've never been to a meaningful basketball game or football game. Like I've been like regular season stuff, but no playoffs of any sort. So this will be really cool.
It will be. It'll be cool. And Indiana's atmosphere is really good. I like it. We've been.
Oh, yeah.
We went way back to see the Warriors in their like heyday, and it was a good atmosphere then. And they've just gotten better, and now it's a playoff game, so it's ratcheted up a little bit. So, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You snagged those tickets for a birthday. So he's celebrating a birthday this past Monday, big 33, I think. So that's a decent
33.
birthday gift. We'll take that. So, and I know your wife hasn't been,
good.
So that'll be good. So that'll be a fun experience, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. That's awesome.
I told her it was part of her birthday present too.
Well, yeah. The cost of these things, yeah, I guarantee it is, and anniversary and Christmas.
Her birthday. Yeah, her birthday's in on Saturday, so I was like, that's your present too. And she was like, well, we can just go to the game on Saturday. I was like, no. I was like, I want to go to Monday's game just in case it's a closeout game. That's where I want to be.
Got to. And if it is a closeout game, you might not come home that night. Might have to get a room. Might have to see about partying at a bar with the Celtics with Jason Tatum. That'd be awesome.
That's right.
Just rep the brand when you go.
Yeah,
in case that happens.
We will. Look, we'll be repping the brand. We'll be going live on TikTok probably. Just going crazy. So
that'd be fun.
Tune in on TikTok.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Good content. Interview people. Talk smack to them like a Boston fan.
There we go.
For sure.
Yeah, I better work on my Boston accent a little bit.
I don't think you can pull that off. You'd have like a Southern Boston accent, and it'd be really weird.
It'd be real weird. Just cuss at them a lot. That's all I got to do.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you're from Boston." Be like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
But
how do they do? They're like park the car in the yard. Like you'll have to pull that pull that crazy accent out.
Just everything. It's wicked smart.
Wicked. Yes, wicked. There you go.
Just wicked. Just say wicked all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's all you got to do.
No. So I was thinking. That's right. I was thinking about this the other day. and
Oh,
after Game 7 for the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, and they were talking about like the face of the NBA. Like, who do you think is the face of the NBA? And they're like, oh, Anthony Edwards. Oh, Anthony Edwards. Like, who do you feel like is the new face of the NBA or is about to be?
is about to be the face of the NBA. Um. Well, who would you classify as now? Like, if when you say the NBA, what? I mean, I would have to say. I mean, I don't know as it's LeBron. I mean, again, everyone knows who he is, but I would feel Steph probably took that over a little bit, or
Yeah.
Giannis. Honestly, a lot of eyes on him too. But I would almost think with the Warriors dynasty, that's kind of fallen off a little bit now. But I'd almost think he's the current face. Who's the gonna be face? Oof.
Yeah.
Um, so I have two in mind. Um, Anthony Edwards is one, but I think just because, and especially if he wins this year, it'll be Jason Tatum because he has been to the finals or been to the playoffs and the finals all but 1 year, I think, of his career. Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I think he's been to the playoffs every year, and he he's a stud. Like I, I truly believe if he wins, you know what? Even if he doesn't, I think he's still the next face of the NBA for sure. Anthony just hasn't done it
Okay.
long enough yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was looking at it and I was thinking, like, I think currently it's Jokic,
Well, true.
3-time
Yep.
MVP.
Yeah,
Like,
true. Yep. I
dude,
agree.
dude's awesome. But I don't think fans like him as much because he doesn't care. Like, basketball's his 9 to 5. Like,
Yes.
he has other stuff he cares about more than basketball.
Yeah.
He just happens to be really good at it. So that's what makes it hard. But I do think Ant is coming up, and it could be his for the taking. But you've also got Luka, you've got Shea,
Mm-hmm.
you still have Giannis a little bit, maybe Tatum. I think it's tough, and so the face of the NBA is up for grabs. I think,
Mm-hmm.
but I do agree with you. I think it could be Tatum if he wins it. Um, and not to just sound too much like a homer, but it just kills me because I was after last night's game. A few of the analysts were like, Tatum was horrible. He was awful. He had 36 points, 10 rebounds, like 4 assists and 3 steals. Like, he was great last night.
Mm-hmm.
But they just keep dogging him and keep dogging him, keep dogging him. And you go to Anthony Edwards, they were praising him for his game 7, and he went 8 of 24 for 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. And so I wrote down these statistics because I seen them today, and it blew my mind. Tatum's last 8 playoff games, averaging 31.8 points, 11.5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2.5 steals, shooting 47% and 94 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
That's MVP numbers. You're
Easily.
putting them up in the playoffs when intensity's,
Mm-hmm.
ramped up. So,
Yeah.
heck, I think they win it this year. He'll win MVP, and that's what then at that point, I think it's hard to deny him as the face of the league.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And
I'd like.
I think he's there now. Like he's up there. It's not Kevin Durant anymore. It's not LeBron. It's not it's not Luka. just because his antics on the floor to the refs. Some of the games I can't stand watching Dallas. Like, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, it's like every time down, it's like, okay, if it's blatant, all right, I get it. Show a little. Literally every time he misses a shot and someone's guarding him, it's a foul. Like, that's
Yeah.
not realistic.
Yeah.
So I think everyone's so hard on Tatum because the team that he's like a part of and inherited, like, he's getting punished because he's on a great team. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
that's what it's about. You don't have to, like, this year his numbers were down technically, but they had the best record in the NBA. So what does it matter? Like,
Yeah.
if you're winning,
Yeah.
who cares? And that's how they feel. And good for him. Like, he's obviously not a selfish player. And they have the best 1-2 punch in the NBA. I don't care what's out there. I'll take Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown over anybody. Anybody, any duo. Don't care. They both play defense and they both can get a bucket whenever they want. So,
Yep.
And they can guard anybody.
Yep. And
So,
that,
I like it.
yeah. They're both great defenders. And that's I think what like separates him, Tatum, and Edwards from everybody else. They're great two-way players. Like, and that's what, like, it's hard because I do think people punishing, like you said. But he's been to 6 of the last 8 conference finals.
Yeah.
And most of them were when he was younger, playing against LeBron. Like, and then Giannis when he was getting a chip. Like, there's been a lot of good teams, but he's taken out the Bucks. He's taken out the Sixers because they've kicked our butt every time. But those teams he's navigated and played against, and he's just getting better. He's only 26, so
yes.
Like, and this is one more stat that blew my mind was so he sat for 7 minutes 28 seconds last night. The Celtics gave up 28 points, and they had a plus minus of negative 15.
Yeah.
And when he was on the floor for the 45-32, they only gave up 100 total points, and they were plus 20. So in like analytics is a big thing now, and plus minus is huge for players. Like, they look at that. Tatum's up plus 125 in the playoffs this year, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
It's first among players. And so that's insane. Like, you can't pull him off the floor because when you do, you see what happens. But when he's on the floor, like, he's the best player on the floor. He's the best player left in the playoffs. He's the best player in the NBA right now. And he's going to continue to show that. So, but his numbers are down, like you said. So he didn't get real MVP consideration. But when you're playing with Drew Holiday, Derek White, who can go off for 30, either one of them 30 any night. Jaylen Brown can go for 40, 50. Porzingis can go for 30 or 40. They have a really good team, but he's the catalyst. He's the best player. He's the best player left in the playoffs. So you can go ahead and clip that.
Yeah, and I'd say by far on that. Like, I mean, Anthony Edwards is good, but 15 points ain't going to cut it in the Game 7. So, especially against someone like Boston, that ain't going to cut it. You're going to be down 20.
Yeah.
So, I like it. I do. I've liked Jason Tatum since he left Duke because I couldn't stand him at Duke. But, the minute he went to the Celtics and then the minute they drafted Jaylen Brown, I told you that he was the real deal too. And he is. Like, I would take Jaylen Brown, like, because you're not getting Jason Tatum. If they ever wanted to move off Jaylen Brown, the Bulls better be calling, because that guy on a team without Jason Tatum is a superstar. He is. And he's a superstar right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to me, last night, he was the best guy on the floor. all around. Like he was everywhere. He was playing defense. He had a lot of, he came up with the clutch turnover. He had one earlier where he tipped it up on the air and it just bounced and the Indiana guy was going to let it go and he jumped over him and hit it off of it. Like, his IQ is insane. So I'm a huge Jaylen Brown fan. Like, I love Jaylen Brown. And I like Jason Tatum too. I mean, those two are the next dynamic duo. And they kind of, everyone's going to be on it. But they kind of remind me of a Jordan Pippen duo. That could be, Jordan, Tatum is Jordan. I'm not saying Tatum is Jordan, but in that reference, Tatum is Jordan.
Right.
And Brown is Scottie Pippen, who played defense but could also go get a bucket whenever he wanted if he needed. So I like them a lot for the NBA. The NBA needs them for sure. So, and the young guys are coming. Like Wemby could be in this discussion 2 years down the road. Who knows? I mean, he's a freak athlete. So he could be better than Giannis because he can actually shoot. So the NBA is in good hands with the young crowd coming up. It would be the right time for LeBron to exit. Like, it's in good hands. They're going to do fine. The stars are there, and he can ride off into the sunset if he wants. If he doesn't, whatever. But I like it. We both got the Celtics. And our last kind of segment, which I didn't take part of last week, but I am this week. So I'm an underdog just because that's the only thing we can do in Wisconsin. So underdog, if you don't know, is higher or lowers. So I did the Pacers Celtics game tomorrow, which is Thursday, and something came up. So what I picked was, I think, and they're all in parlay form, so I don't really have a prayer. My whole parlay here is a prayer, probably, but I got Tyrese Halliburton going for higher than 19.5 points tomorrow. I have Jaylen Brown going higher than 25.5 points. I have Miles Turner going higher than 16.5 points. Al Horford going higher than 11 points. And TJ McConnell going higher than 9.5 points. So I'm on the higher squad tomorrow. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game tomorrow. So a $5 bet gives me $100. So I'll take that.
Ooh, nice.
So that's what I would go with. I'm going all hires and all points.
Yeah.
Point based.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. That'll be good because, like we've talked about, both teams like to run, so it will be a high-scoring game. So hopefully you get that money tomorrow. It'd be awesome.
I'm gonna lock it in right now. Actually, I kind of talked myself into it.
All right, so mine, I'm going all tonight's game. So when we see this, picks will already be final, whatever. But I picked the Timberwolves as the winner of tonight's game. They're 4.5 point favorites. So I just picked them. I figured it would be the safest pick. They're at home. Mavericks struggle game one always. But if they keep it close, we'll see. But I like the T-Wolves for here. My parlay is for Luka and Kyrie to all have 25-plus points.
Ooh.
They do that, and we're plus 397. So that's a decent parlay. It's not a whole lot of money in there. $10 for $39, but something small, go for it. But I think it's realistic for all of them to go 25 or more. And in my prayer is the biggest run by either team. They'll go on a 15-0 run. So if any team goes on a 15-0 run, $100 to win $600.
Ooh, I'd actually take that. Like, I feel that
They're
could
both
happen
high
easy.
scoring. They're like, yeah. You walk down the floor and Kyrie's getting buckets, Luka's getting buckets real quick, and you've got Ant hit a couple shots, Cat getting it down low, Jay McDaniels for three, whoever it may be. Either way, it could go. So, $600 be a nice little payday.
Yeah, I like those. I would, if it had to make me pick, I'd almost pick Dallas to do it with Luka and Kyrie hitting between them. They'd have to hit 5 threes. That's easy. That's easy money, honestly.
Yeah. They can do that real quick.
Yeah. In a fast span, especially the way they play defense as Dallas does. Dallas plays decent defense too. So I like that. I like that a lot. I like mine in. I'm going for the big one on that one. So that ends it.
There we go.
That ends it for me. I think it ends it for you. Have fun Monday. We won't be back till next Wednesday, and then we'll be coming down for a week. So we'll actually probably do 2 podcasts next week.
Let's go.
So get a little golf game in. So it'll be good. So have fun on your playoff game. That's exciting, and go Boston, right? Hit them with that outro.
That's right. Boston. All right. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in, however and wherever you may be listening. If you like the content you're receiving, hit the like, subscribe button, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Apple Pod, Spotify. See you next week. Peace.